Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Webb. Now, after again. You see, we want to know how all this began. This wedding. This plan to spend a lifetime together. You know, I'm awfully interested in how such things begin. You know how it is. You're 21 or 22 and you've made some decisions, then whoosh, you're 70. You've been a lawyer for 50 years and that white-haired lady in the kitchen has eaten over 50,000 meals with you. How do such things begin? George and Emily are going to show you now the conversation they had when they first knew that, well, as the saying goes, they were meant for one another. But before they do that, I want you all to try to remember what it was like to have been very young. And particularly the days where you were first in love. When you were like the person sleepwalking. You didn't quite see the world. You didn't quite hear everything that was said to you. You're just a little bit crazy. Will you remember that? Now, the children will be coming out of school at 3 o'clock. George has just been elected president of the junior class, and as it's June, that means he'll be president of the senior class all next year. And Emily has just been elected secretary and treasurer. I don't even need to tell you how important that is. Yeah, there they are coming down Main Street now.
Let me get a beat. We're not doing this age for the last time.
I can't, Louise. I've got to go home. Bye. Oh, Ernestine. Can you go more tonight in Latin? Isn't that Cicero the worst thing? Tell her you have to. Bye, Helen. Bye, Fred.
Can I carry the books home for you, Emily?
Thank you. It is far.
Excuse me, man. Hey, say, Bob, if I'm a little late, let's start practice anyway and get her from Long Island.
Goodbye, Lizzie.
Goodbye, Lizzie. I'm awfully glad you're elected too, Emily.
Thank you.
What are you now?
I'm not mad at you.
You've been treating me so funny lately.
Since you asked, I might as well say it right out, George. Goodbye, Mr. Corn.
Goodbye, Mr. Corn.
Bye, Emily. Goodbye, George.
What is it?
I don't like the whole change that's come over you. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I've got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
The change? What do you mean?
Well, up until a year ago, I used to like you a lot, and I used to watch you as you did everything, because we've been friends for so long. But then you began spending all the time at baseball, and you never stopped to speak to anyone, not even to your own family did. George, it's a fact that you got awful conceited and stuck up, and all the girls say so. You might not say it to your face, but that's what they say behind your back, and it hurts me to hear them say it, but I've got to agree with them a little. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but I can't be sorry I said it.
I'm glad you said it, Emily. I never noticed such a thing was happening to you. I guess it's hard for a little man to have false screaming to his ears.
Well, I always expect a man to be perfect, and I think he should be.
Well, I don't think it's possible to be perfect, Emily.
Well, my father is, and as far as I can tell, your father is. So there's no reason on earth why you shouldn't be too.
Well, I feel it's the other way around. That men aren't naturally good, but girls are.
You might as well know right now, George, that I'm not perfect. It's not as easy for a girl to be as perfect as a man. Us girls are more nervous. I'm sorry I said all that about you. I don't know what made me say it. And it's not true until I feel it isn't important anyways.
So would you like an ice cream or something before you go home?
Well, thank you. I would.
Hello, Stu. How are you? Good afternoon, Mrs. Welcome.
George, Emily, what can I get for you? Why, Emily Webb, what have you been crying about?
She just had her awful scared, Mr. Morgan. She almost got ran over by one of the cars where it's going wagons. Everybody says I'm hungry, jobs are crazy, man.
Take a glass of water, Maurice. You got to look both ways before you cross Main Street nowadays. It's worse every year. What can I get for you?
Have a strawberry phosphate. Thank you.
No, and
Have an ice cream soda with me. A 2-star ice cream soda, Miss Morgan.
2 ice cream sodas coming right up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, there are 125 horses in Grover's Corner. This is when I'm talking to you. State inspector was in here yesterday. They're starting to bring around these automobiles. Best thing for us to do is just stay at home. You know, I remember when a dog put us all day on Main Street, and nothing came along to bother them. Here you are. Yes, Miss Ellis.
So expensive.
No. I thought you think of that. Oh, we're celebrating our election. And do you know what else we're celebrating?
No.
I'm celebrating because I have a friend that tells me all the things I'm about to be told me.
George, please don't think of that. I don't know what to say. It's not clear.
No. And I'm glad you spoke to me like you did. But you'll see I'm going to change so quick. And you better I'm going to change. And Emily,
What?
I want to ask you a favor.
What?
If I go to State Agriculture College next year, would you write me a letter once in a while?
I certainly will. George. It certainly seems to be with you to get out of touch with us. Maybe letters from Grover's Corners wouldn't be so interesting after a while. Grover's Corners isn't actually a place we can fall. New Hampshire, but it's a lovely town.
The day when it comes, when I want to know everything that's happening here. I know that's true, Emily.
I'll try to make my letters interesting then.
You know, Emily, whenever I meet a farmer, I ask him things, it's important to go to agriculture school to be a good farmer.
Why, George?
And some of them even say it's worth the time. I didn't get all these things anyway. I depend on the government sends out.
Why?
And like you said, being gone at that time and in other places and meeting other people, gosh, if anything like that can happen, I don't want to go away. I guess new people are better than old ones. I must bet they never are. And Emily, I want to ask you a favor.
Yes, George?
If I make a big change and I go to agriculture school, would you still?
Yes, I would.
And I'm gonna make my mom right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight.
But George, I don't see why you have to make a decision right now. It's a whole year away.
Emily, I'm glad you spoke to me about that. That fault in my character. What you said was right, but there was one wrong thing in it. And that was when you said for a year now, I wasn't noticing people. And you, for instance, when you say you were watching me when I did everything, I was doing the same about you all the time. I would watch her. I always thought he was one of those cheap people I thought about. I always made sure where you were sitting on the bleachers and who you were with. And for 3 days now, I've been trying to walk home with you, but something always got in the way. Yesterday, I was standing over against the wall waiting for you, but you walked home with Mr. Corn.
Why, George? Life's awful funny. How could I have known that? Why?
Listen, Emily. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to agriculture school next year. I think when you find a person that you're fond of, I mean a person who's fond of you too, and likes you enough to be interested in your character. I feel that's just as important in colleges and even more so. That's what
I think it's awfully important too.
Emily?
Yes, George?
Emily, if I do make a big change, would you be? I mean, could you be?
I am not. I always have been.
Yeah, I guess this is an important talk we're having.
Yes.
Oh, wait just a minute, I'll walk you. I'll have to go home and get the money to pay for this. It don't
Like
take
George gives. Do you mean to tell me?
Yes, Miss Morgan, I have my reasons. Here's my gold watch. Keep it until I come back with the money.
Keep your watch, son. I'll trust you.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
I'll trust you 10 years, George. Not a day over. Got over your shock, Emily?
Yes, I'm fine now. Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
I'm ready.